Hello and welcome back to my channel for those of you who have stopped by before, and welcome to anyone that's new stopping by. And this is kind of a continuation on a process tutorial that I had for this Parisian theme loaded envelope. And so for this part of the video, I'm just going to show you guys what I plan on putting inside of the loaded envelope. Just because I know some people are kind of curious of what to put into loaded envelopes, and you pretty much can put anything that you want inside a loaded envelopes. The big thing is, of course, if you're part of a swap, to make sure that you've included everything that you were supposed to include. So besides including like store-bought items like stickers and embellishments, die cuts, those types of things, I usually like to create a few of my own things to put into the loaded envelope. And so that's what I'm going to show you in this video, is the things that I have created versus the store-bought items. So usually inside of my envelopes, I usually include at least one large tag. And so here was the tag that I created for this loaded envelope. It is a Paris themed one. And I used a piece of paper that came from, I think it's called Paper House. I'm not quite sure, but they have a lot of sticker embellishments. But I did find this one sheet of Parisian themed paper that had like the whole city of Paris down here with the Eiffel Tower, and it had a little sentiment that I used on another tag that I'm including. But I did cut it up for this tag, and I also used a Tim Holtz. It's one of the mixed media sets to cut out this little flourish here in the corner. I added this banner along with the word explore on it. The banner is part of a spellbinder set. And the word explore comes from a die cut. It's called Momenta, I believe, that you buy at Hobby Lobby. So that's where that one came. The word Paris is a sticker. And I showed it, part of the Jolie's Boutique collection that I showed when I made this envelope, that I used some of the pieces up here and down here. It's part of that same collection, this Paris sticker that I used. I added some flatback pearls, hearts here. I stamped the word Je t'aime, that I have this stamp in my collection, and it does not have a name on it. It might be a Magenta stamp, which is an older stamp company, just because of looking at the style of the stamp. I think that's who that one comes from. But I did layer it up on this little oval piece. I put some cheesecloth behind it and also some eyelash trim. And then I have some really tiny little pearl trim that I added right there. And then also right here on the word explore. I have a tab punch that I used up here, and that's this one right here from McGill. And so I added the tab up here just to make it easier to pull out of the pocket when you put it in. And the back side I did leave plain, but it does have room if I wanted to put a note on it. I could do that. And that, like I said, will just go in this main part of the pocket. And since I created a pocket inside of the larger pocket up here, like we did in the video that I did on creating this envelope, I did create a little tag for that. And here's the tag that I created for that pocket. And again, this back piece and this Bonjour sticker are part of that Jolie's Boutique collection, along with the doily sticker and the little gold sticker up here in the corner. Those were all part of the collection. The background piece is again part of that Jolie's Boutique paper, and then I just layered it on some tan colored cardstock. Added some more of those flat back pearl stickers up here and then on the side. So I made that tag to put in there. So those are kind of my two main tags that I'm going to add in there. I also usually like to include some sort of wand, just because I think they're fun to make. And so here's the wand that I created to put in there. I used parts of that Jolie's Boutique paper collection again. I created a rosette using the We Are Memory Keepers rosette die punch or punch. And then the background piece, this blue one, is also a Spellbinders die. This is a Martha Stewart punch, the butterfly is. I added a little sentiment right here, and that's from one of the Tim Holtz sticker sheets that you can buy. And then I also have a punch right here, this square punch right here. And I think that's close by, or yeah, here it is. That one also is a Martha Stewart one too. And what's nice about this one is it does have two settings on it, so it punches just the square, and it also punches the border. So like right here it's set on the border, and then here's the just the square part of it. So it's kind of a nice, these are nice punches just because it's kind of like 2 punches in one. So as you can see, I punched out this back square and then the little white border around it. So that's how I created that one. I also added some bows right here. This bigger one is using the Tim Holtz bow maker and then, or die cut. And then this little one right here is a memory box one, and it may be a poppy stamps, but memory box, I think. And I just added a little bit of bling in the middle of that one. And I hung some eyelash trim off of the straw. And the straw comes from Tuesday Morning. And the back side, I just created a to from. And this to from stamp is a PSX, or Personal Stamp Exchange stamp. And this little circle is a Spellbinders die. So that's that one. And then I also included some little pieces. You can maybe call them tags or embellishments, handmade embellishments, that the person that's getting this will be able to add onto cards or into a junk journal possibly, because she also makes junk journals too, or scrapbooking pages. And she's been to Paris, so she'll be able to use these, like I said, in a couple different ways. But this piece of paper that says Paris is always a good idea was the same, the other half of this sheet, this background sheet. It was like up here in the corner on one of the sides. So I just was using up scraps after I cut up that paper for the jumbo tag. And I just added some eyelash trim, a little corsage, or not, crocheted doily or flower, and added one of those little flat back heart pearls there. Here's another little piece. Again, the background pieces, I use Spellbinders nestability dies to create a lot of these. This little Eiffel Tower just came from some sort of 6x6 pad that I had. There was like 4 images on it, and I just cut that one out because it was the Eiffel Tower, and I added the word dream. And that's from a Momenta die cut that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. And I had this little, it's a brad actually, that I picked up from Tuesday Morning from a set a year ago or something, and I just still had that floating around on my desk, so I decided to use it up. And again, I just added some eyelash trim. I just always think the eyelash trim makes things look really pretty, so I usually add that to a lot of things. Again, another piece of that paper from the jumbo tag that I just cut up. It's kind of a scene from Paris, and I just added the word travel on there. And again, these 2 die cuts are from Spellbinders. It's one of the nestability dies. I created another little embellishment here, again with eyelash trim. This background piece, again, is a Spellbinders die. And these are just squares that I cut out of with my paper cutter, and I just corner rounded the edges. The actual image of the Eiffel Tower comes from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. It's one of her freebies that Debbie Ann has. And I just had it left from something that I had made a while ago in one of my junk journals. So I just incorporated that into this tag just to use it up. And again, this is one of those Momenta die cuts that says Discover on it. And I added a little flat back heart pearl again up there. I created one more little tag. I left the back side plain, but you can just see that it's tag shaped. I added some trim at the bottom with the hearts, and then the hearts again right there. This little half sheet doily was the piece that we didn't use, or I didn't use when I created this tag topper up here. I didn't use that half of it, so I incorporated that into a tag so that I didn't waste anything. I added this word Paris, which is a die cut from Frantic Stamper. This little bee image came from part of that sticker collection from Jolie's Boutique. It's part of the sticker collection that was made to go with the paper collection that I used. And then also die cut out the heart and this background heart. Again, both of those were dies from Spellbinders. The word love, and that was an Impression Obsession die. And this little back shaped one also is a Spellbinders die. Besides creating little tags and embellishments like that, I also like to make kind of more 3D type embellishments if given the opportunity and the time for my loaded envelopes. And so here was a few of the embellishments that I created for that loaded envelope. And again, just using die cuts. I've talked about all these already in the other parts, so I'll just kind of show them to you guys. And then on the back side I included a couple more. This was a heart die cut that I cut it out of chipboard and then layered on some paper, added a bow, some flat back trim, the word love, and then glued on some flowers from Wild Orchid Crafts up there. And another little butterfly from the Martha Stewart punch on the back side of that. On the back side of this loaded envelope there was a pocket again, so I did create a little envelope, and this was made using the Spellbinders die. And so I just created this little tag in there, or little card. It just has a more right there, and then the back side. This is Bonjour, so I'll be able to write a little note to her back there. In that same pocket back there, I just did a whole bunch of die cuts. It's kind of an easy embellishment to add to your loaded envelopes if you have dies and you're able to cut them out for people. I always find that it's kind of a nice thing to add. So I added like some of the Paris cutout dies, and some of the words that I used on those little embellishments are in there. And I also have this envelope I'm going to include in there. Again, some more die cuts. And then I have some store-bought bags that I'm going to include in there too for her, but just a whole bunch of die cuts. And I will also include some more store-bought stuff in that loaded envelope, but I'm not going to show those on camera. But I just wanted to show you guys kind of what my plans were for that loaded envelope. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.